Are you looking for the pros and cons of living in Port Charlotte, Florida? Well, in this video, we're going to talk all about it, so stay tuned. What's up, everyone? It's German. We're Hernandez Group coming to you from sunny Southwest Florida. If this is your first time visiting this channel, you want to know everything about Southwest Florida? Well, we do tons and tons of videos about everything you need to know. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time a new video gets dropped. Honestly, we're getting tons of calls, texts, emails, whatever way people get a hold of us that are looking to move or relocate to the area, and we absolutely love it. So if you're looking to move or relocate to the area, make sure you call us, text us, email us, or even send a smoke signal to get a hold of us because we have your back when moving to sunny Southwest Florida. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the pros, and these are in no particular order. So for number one, we're gonna talk about the aspect that Port Charlotte actually has that quiet small town feel to it. People are very welcoming, people are very kind to each other. When things are happening in the community, people come alongside each other and help one another out. So if you're definitely looking for that small town quiet feel, definitely look into Port Charlotte. So for number two, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Port Charlotte's location. So Port Charlotte is centrally located between Sarasota in the north and Fort Myers in the south. If you're looking to go visit any of the big major cities in Florida or even check out the theme parks, you're only a few hours away from these locations like Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. And if you want to visit Naples, Florida, you're only like about an hour or so away. So pretty close to a lot of these particular spots. Let's go ahead and move on to number three, and we're going to talk about the weather in Port Charlotte. So for most of the year, you're going to go ahead and have a temperature somewhere in the 80s. Particularly in the summer, it's going to be in the mid to high 80-degree Fahrenheit range. You're looking at about 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Now during the fall winter months, you're looking at about the 77-degree Fahrenheit range. So definitely for most of the year, if you're all about that summer heat, right, or even just heat in general, well, Port Charlotte has that most of the year. So definitely something that if you're into that, you definitely want to check out Port Charlotte. Now, if it gets too hot, you can always head over to one of the beaches, right? Just like Siesta Key or even Boca Grande. Or you could check out the beach that is in Port Charlotte called Port Charlotte Beach Park. Let's go ahead and move on to number four, and we're going to talk about the outdoor activities in Port Charlotte. If you're into fishing and boating, well, Port Charlotte has plenty of canals that lead out to the Gulf of Mexico and the Charlotte Harbor. The Charlotte Harbor is one of the biggest harbors in the United States. There's plenty of tarpon, snook, barracuda, redfish. I mean, you even see sharks there. It's a huge ecological breeding ground for many of these fishes. If you're into paddleboarding, kayaking, and canoeing, right? You could definitely check out this area as well. Now, if you're not into those things and you just want to go ahead and go to the beach, well, Port Charlotte has a beach of its own. It's called the Port Charlotte Beach Park. You can always head over to Siesta Key or even Boca Grande. Now, if you want to catch a baseball game, well, you have the Charlotte Sports Park, which hosts the Tampa Bay Rays during their spring training games. So definitely lots of different things that you could do in Port Charlotte when it comes to outdoor activities. Also, don't forget, you can always head over to the Charlotte Harbor Preserve State Park in Punta Gorda, or even just head over to Fisherman's Village, Harbor Walk, or even downtown Punta Gorda. Let's move on to number five. If you're all about fresh seafood, well, definitely check out the restaurants or even the local seafood markets in Port Charlotte. The seafood is delicious in Port Charlotte. It's definitely one of the biggest attractions for many people that visit Port Charlotte or even people that end up moving to Port Charlotte. So keep that in mind if you're all about that seafood life. Let's go ahead and move on to number six, and we're going to talk about the proximity of many of the homes to many of the stores and even the hospitals. So if you're looking for grocery stores, right, thrift stores, bookstores, or just shopping malls, right, and even the hospitals like Fawcett Memorial Hospital and Bayfront Health, well, many of the homes in Port Charlotte are going to be in close proximity to many of these locations. So you really don't have to head outside of Port Charlotte to be able to do most of the day-to-day things that you may have to do when living in Port Charlotte. So something to keep in mind if you're looking to live out in Port Charlotte. Let's go ahead and move on to the cons. And just like I mentioned with the pros, These are gonna be in no particular order. So for number one, we're gonna talk about the traffic in Port Charlotte. So for the months of January through, I would say, April, you're definitely gonna go ahead and see the traffic pick up. Why? Well, you have a lot more people visiting Port Charlotte, hanging out, visiting family and friends, vacationing, right? So definitely plan ahead when going to work or heading home from work. Make sure you give yourself some wiggle room there with the time. Now, keep in mind, for the rest of the year, it's pretty much smooth sailing. Let's move on to number two, and we're gonna talk about transportation in Port Charlotte. So the majority of people in Port Charlotte end up driving to get to places. Now, there's not really like, let's say, a bus stop destination. They do have like a curb to curb option where you can actually call in or even schedule, right, through the app on where to pick you up and where to drop you off at. But there's not a real true like bus route transportation, public transportation in Port Charlotte. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and move on to number three, and we're gonna talk about the nightlife in Port Charlotte. So one of the main complaints when it comes to the nightlife in Port Charlotte is that there isn't many things to do at night. So many times people head over to Sarasota or Fort Myers. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to do something at night in Port Charlotte. Now for number four, we're gonna talk about the little animals or even big animals, right? Depending on who you're talking to in Port Charlotte. So obviously you got to deal with the spiders, the cockroaches, the flies, the mosquitoes, right? You also have lizards, you have snakes. So if you're not into these types of animals, Port Charlotte may not be for you. Just keep in mind that pretty much every spot in Southwest Florida is gonna have the same animals. Let's go ahead and move on to number five, and we're gonna talk about hurricanes. So like many other places in Florida, you definitely got to keep in mind that hurricanes can come, right? So the nice thing about hurricanes is that you have time to plan, right? You can always try to evacuate and make sure that your home is protected, or even go to a shelter. So hurricanes is something that pretty much anywhere in Florida, you're just gonna have to be able to deal with it. Well, I hope you got a lot of great information from this video. Remember, if you're looking to move or relocate to sunny Southwest Florida, make sure you call us, text us, emails, or even send a smoke signal to get a hold of us, because we have your back when moving to sunny Southwest Florida. Take it easy.